Hello there, drum sensors. Colin Woolway here at Shea Woolway in West London. We're going to look at some odd clusters of notes again. We've looked at fives and sevens before now, but we're going to have a look at another way of teaching these things. So teaching groups of five, for example, as quintuplets. And as 16th notes, 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a. So you're either playing the groups of five in as quintuplets, as in 1 2 3 4 5 1 2 3 4 5 1 2 3 4 5 1 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4, or you're playing in 16ths and subdividing into fives. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 2 3 4 5 1 2 3 4 5 1 2 3 4 5 1 1 2 3 let's stick with the quintuplet idea. And here's a nice musical way to get into teaching the 5/2 idea. Now, 5/2, something that always kind of puzzled me in terms of its musical musicality, I suppose, really. You know, there's just the musical necessity to know how to play 5/2. In lots of kind of I suppose classical music, you might find that going on somewhere, but in the average course of a drumming career, I didn't really need to know what 5/2 sounded like. But in terms of teaching, it can be quite a good fun to get into if you choose a musical route. So, for example, look, if I'm playing quintuplets, I'm going 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 5 1 2 3 4 5 1 2 3 4 5 1. So these are 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4. Technically speaking, that's 5/1. So you have one beat with 5 notes going over the top till you get to the next beat. So I'm setting that up as. So there's my time. 1 2 3 4. Okay. Now. A quick way of finding 5/2, of course, as Gary Chafee explains in his really good videos of many years ago, if I'm playing 5/1 using both hands, and every time the beat comes down, I'll change lead hand, right, left, okay? That means that my leading hand, my right hand, must be playing 5 notes for every time I play 10 notes. So if I'm playing 10 notes with both hands, I must be playing 5 with this one hand. So if I'm playing 10 for every 2, then this hand must logically be playing 5 for every 2. So there's my 5/2. Now, problem with that, as far as I'm concerned, is very good, but how am I going to use that in a musical way? Well, probably a lot of drummers could do. But I found myself doing something else. Now, this is a good teaching technique, a good way of getting into making this stuff sound accessible to the average student. So what I'm doing is I'm saying, here's my 1 2 1 2. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to double my bass drum. Now the note that I'm really going for is every other. I'm going for 1 2 3 4. That's the note I'm going for. If I double up the bass drum, I'm still going for that note. So I'm playing 5/2 more by default, or what I've referred to before now, I think, as what I call the momentum method. So my momentum is here. I know that if I keep that constant, and I keep that constant, I know that my quintuplets will end up being 5/2. But I'm going to give it a jazz application. So what I'm going to do now is play a jazz rhythm here. So the bass drum's playing 1 and 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, hi-hat on 2 and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So my hi-hat must be it must keep in the same place, and therefore when I do the quintuplet roll on the snare drum, I'm playing 5/2. But the 2 is shared between that note and that note. Okay? Now, so far so good. I'm going to change the sticking of the quintuplet to right, left, left, right, left. Okay? So I've now got... Now that's still 5/2. As I say, the 2 is split between the bass and the hi-hat. So if I speed up a bit, I'm getting into something a little bit more usable. Now you notice I've cut the bass drum out, but I'm aiming for that downbeat down there with this hand. Faster. Okay, so technically I'm playing 5/2. In musical terms, I've really just taken a quintuplet sticking and applied it over some jazz time. I mean, I think that's the musical outcome of it, really. But if we're saying what musical use is 5/2 to us, well, there's a way in. There's a nice kind of explanation into it. It's a good lesson with a student because you can demonstrate the Gary Chaffee approach. You know, or in fact, it's quite Drumsense, isn't it, to split the leading hand and find out what's going on. So you can demonstrate that technique and then take it up to a jazz feel and apply effectively 10 notes over 1, 2, 3, 4. 10 notes over 4, 5/2. There you go.